visions wasn't equally aligned. To chase my dreams, I had to leave the streets behind. I've been trying to get you good vibe. To my oldest son, I wish I could be there more. My family and my money, all I care for. Yeah, you told me I'm a nigga you would kill for. Now I'm second guessing what you here for. Yeah, let the beat build. I told him I'm popping without the...
I have myself muted. Fuck. Alright. Yo. Welcome back to the Cypher episode number 45. We took a week off, but we're excited to be back. I'm Andrew Kazir, the owner and editor of Upstate Aesthetic. Every week I host the Cypher podcast alongside two of Upstate's finest artists, Anthony Cannon and Sheridan Crane. We got myself off mute. We're good to go. Sheridan's a little hungover, but we're ready for a good show. How you doing, Ant?
Shit, I'm feeling blessed today because I'm actually not hungover. So, in a clear state of mind, didn't yak this morning, so I kind of feel all right. I'm just fucking with you, Brody. How are you doing, Sheridan? I'm sorry that you were a little under the weather.
Damn, now he's muted. Everybody's muted. It's like we haven't done this before.
Fuck y'all. I'm doing better now. I'm doing better now that I got it all out. I had actually a really good day yesterday. I went skiing. I've been going skiing the last couple of weeks. I never really did that when I was like younger because of basketball and stuff, and just because it's expensive as fuck. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna have to, like, if I'm gonna keep doing it, I'm gonna have to get my own stuff and start getting season passes somewhere or something because it's just too much. But I really
renting equipment is not really even
feasible. Dude, renting equipment it's like I spend probably $100 every time I go. Just like not counting food or anything like that. not even flexing. Like it's just like it's like a bad thing. Like I'm losing a lot of money, but I'm like, and it's really the only way I'm getting out of the house right now. And I found it's something that I really love to do. So like I've been happy to go. I had a little bit of a COVID scare. My sister's friend ended up testing positive last week. I hadn't really seen my sister a whole lot. My dad and I got tested negative. Both the rapid and the 24-hour test came back negative, which is good.
That's good. At least you're doing good. And that's a crazy thing about COVID right now is I've seen a bunch of people like talking positively about how numbers are starting to go down and stuff, but you still got to be careful with, even though stuff is trending in the right direction, and then there are situations with people getting vaccines and that stuff is becoming more prominent. Like it is trending in the right direction, but you still got to be safe. So I'm glad you're doing all right,
It's getting worse
Sheridan.
in Portland right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about to get a little bit worse because I think so many people feel secure.
Yeah.
And there's people the students, there's people feeling like the vaccines are going out and that's going to wipe COVID away because there's a lot of misinformation about how the vaccine works and the current status of how shit is going. But it is nice to see numbers going down gradually across America. So shout out you guys.
Yeah.
It's sad though, because like in some areas and in most areas it is, but like then you look at college towns like Portland where they just shut down a 100-person party like 3 days ago, and the numbers are
right. Yeah, some people are definitely still not taking it serious. So it's like a mixture of situations, but and like I said, it's just sort of what I've heard recently is that numbers are starting to go down, and kind of combined with it being so cold outside, people aren't necessarily rushing to gather into big communities and stuff like that. So hopefully, like I said, stuff can continue to trend in the right direction. I spent the week, or not the week, a couple days in the hospital last week. That's why we didn't have the show, because my baby boy Brody was being born. That was a real exciting moment. I was excited to get to spend time with the family and help Amanda, my girlfriend, out. So shout out to her. She did a lot of the heavy lifting throughout this whole process. I'm just glad to be able to spend some time with my son. Yeah, dude. So it's been a process, but it's something cool, and so I'm glad to be able to get back to the podcast though and be able to talk to everybody. So
is Brody the real name?
Yeah.
A1
Brody,
call.
Brody Elijah. So
hey Brody, come over here. Hey Brody, what's poppin'? Like
yeah. Dude, and that was a situation came down to the last minute where we didn't necessarily have a name that we had agreed on for a while. We had some names we both liked, but so we threw them into a hat and let our daughter pull one out, and that's the one that was picked, and that was one of my picks, so I was hyped about that.
That's beautiful.
So it worked
That's a great
out.
way to do it.
Yeah. And so she'll always get to say she chose her brother's name. But yeah, so it's a cool situation, cool stuff going on for me. I'm very excited about all that.
That's gonna be problematic later in life. I created you.
Right.
I gave you your name.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hilarious.
Oh, God.
But
that is funny.
yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun. But like I said, I'm glad to get back to talking about music with you guys. And we missed out on some stuff. Last week was pretty busy. There have been a couple of tracks dropped. Chirp dropped a new track. Karma's a Bad Bitch. We got a new track from Jay Pari, How I've Been Feeling. Purpose from Ace of Slays. There was a new video titled Chanel by Lorena. Scaffa dropped a new video called From the Trenches. So like I said, a lot of content coming out. I know I missed a couple things. We got a couple things we're going to play later on too that just dropped this week. But yeah, it's been a busy week for upstate music.
Man, it's been a busy. January was a busy month, and it seems like February is just following suit. You feel me? I think that people got a mission this year up here, and it's beautiful to see. I'm looking forward to a lot of work dropping over these next couple months. Sheridan even dropped a new song. What?
Yeah, right. There's Sheridan dropped new music. There was a lot that came out on Valentine's Day. I wasn't necessarily expecting that, or leading up to Valentine's Day, that I thought was pretty cool. There's been, like I said, a lot of music that dropped.
K. Kelly dropped a project, pretty sure.
K. Kelly did drop a project. A nice little 4-piece.
And that's the smart way to do it. I'm saying I've been preaching that for probably since I started Upstate Aesthetic, and I'll preach it until I see a couple of artists do it super consistently. Like, try the EP thing, especially if you've I don't know exactly who it's for, but I think that some artists should be trying to drop like 4 at a time, once a month, once every other month, give their fans more to consume, give new fans not a ton to consume. It's an easy way to introduce people. I think that there are so many benefits to doing something like an EP, and you could do really, really smart stuff with it too, where you attach it to like don't just mold yourself into the idea of music has to be like one release, you sell it and that's it. You could do stuff where someone pays you a certain amount and then boom, they're locked in to get your next 4 EPs for the next 4 months, and then they're kind of excited to get the next one and the next one and the next one. Like, there's so many different interesting things you could do that I've even got ideas about.
Right. You're giving the blueprint right now. You giving too much free game. These niggas got to pay for that, Drew. I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I don't know what you're doing.
But there's just something that they should try different stuff. Don't do what you've seen done 1,000 times. Try something a little bit outside of the box, and if you can make it successful, then people will, 1, start talking about you, and that'll get you more attention, and 2, you're just doing something that's going to be beneficial anyway. So
look at what has historically worked for other artists. Look at what has historically not worked for other artists, and then create your own little custom plan with your own little personal touches on it to gain some success. You feel me? I think little seasonal or quarterly EPs could be wild. You drop 2 or 3, 4 or 5 tracks EPs in a year. That's covering over a song a month for the whole year already. You're feeding your consumer base. It gives you time to prepare, and it's consistent. You know, I don't even know if people know this for real, but DSPs reward you for dropping consistently. If your release schedule is super sporadic, they don't even know how to pump some of your music appropriately or accordingly. So if you have a consistent release schedule, if you drop every month, if you drop every 6 weeks, and they'll start to notice that and start pumping your music out to different people.
Yeah. So I just think that doing stuff non-traditionally, even if it's utilizing stuff that used to be done in the past and maybe isn't done so much anymore, or just doing something totally new, it's the way to go right now. If you can think outside of the box with how music has been just kind of trapped in a box with the pandemic and everything, if you could do something a little bit different, a little bit outside the box, then you're going to stand out. So I like to see artists do EPs. That's one of my favorite things to see. So let's go ahead and talk about some hip-hop related content. Me and Sheridan have been arguing about this all weekend on social media. Meek Mill got into some beef with Tekashi 6ix9ine over the weekend. He apparently spit on Tekashi in a restaurant. Tekashi waited outside the restaurant for Meek to come out. They got into an argument. Tekashi started talking about how Meek had cops with him, yada, 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 and then ended the argument by saying, He quoted Pooh Shiesty. He's got his own fire. He don't need security in the club. I don't know, Sheridan. You had a good take on this. You have a hot take on it. I'm not saying a good take.
I was gonna say he had a good take on this.
No. I
had the correct take on this.
Okay.
Basically, here's the thing. 6ix9ine is a joke. 6ix9ine should not be taken seriously. 6ix9ine should not be entertained by anyone who wants themselves to be taken seriously. If you're someone who has a bona fide career, you have a legacy within the game, and you have legal trouble that could put you back in jail, you're a complete idiot if you are even involving yourself in any way with 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine is someone that is known to be putting people in jail. So if you have issues with the law, you probably shouldn't deal with someone who puts people in jail. That's really all I'm saying. I don't think the reason I say 6ix9ine won is because 6ix9ine got clout. That's all he wanted. He's not going to go to jail for that. All he wants is
his dumbass actually could, because he's the one who's on probation or whatever. He's the one who's on a situation with the court that inciting violence is something that could get him put in jail. So the fact that he continues to do this type of shit, it might on the surface level seem like a positive, beneficial situation for clout. This could be what gets him locked back up, and that will be fucking hilarious. Stuff like this isn't going to be beneficial for him in the long term.
He's stupid. I think, but what really all he was trying to get from that is like, okay, Meek's gonna spit on me and try to disrespect me. Bet this gives me my perfect chance to be talked about again. No one's been talking about me for 2 months. I'm doing videos with the fucking Nelk boys because I don't know. I have nothing else to do. And okay, Meek Mill has given me another fucking 15 minutes of fame. Let's get it.
I think it just almost solidifies, like, it showcases, though, how short that this was, because it didn't really stay in circulation of people discussing it for very long. It was like a 1-day thing, 2-day thing. Like, we're still talking about it a couple days later.
When he dropped music, people are going to be more prone to go check it out now. They're going to say,
only if he says something about Meek.
They're going to listen to it just to see if he does.
If you're a 6ix9ine fan, you're going to listen to his music anyways. And if you're not a 6ix9ine fan, I do not think that this debacle with Meek Mill is going to make you more amped to listen to his music, to be honest. That's just how I feel. I don't think there was a winner in this situation at all. I think they both took kind of L, but like Meek didn't really take a L. To have Tekashi in your face yelling at you, it's just bait. You feel me? He's really trying his hardest to bring you down, whether that be putting you back in jail, whether that be embarrassing you to the public. Right. But he really only benefits from taking you down. There's nothing that Tekashi could have did to Meek Mill right there that is going to make people listen to his music. And 15 minutes is way too long for this specific instance. I'd say it might got him 15 seconds, but it's still not going to translate back to sales. I saw a lot of people clowning Meek for this. I can't really clown Meek for this. I mean, it's really just people like what was Meek supposed to do? Like rock Tekashi in his face and go to jail to impress?
Meek was supposed to months ago not get involved with Tekashi.
But
and
don't you think that was I feel like that was necessary in some way. Maybe not from Meek, but I feel like people in the industry needed to do that. And if outside of Meek, how many people in the industry did that to really say?
Why did they need to do that?
Because the same way, like, there are impressionable kids and impressionable people viewing this across the country. It's not just who we are and who we are as hip hop fans. So if you want hip hop to be viewed in a light of, well, this guy is okay who snitched and got away with all this shit, then fine. But Meek Mill is someone who's taking a stand against that type of shit. And I feel like in a sense, if you really ride with hip hop, people needed to do that. People in the industry needed to do that, not just people speaking on the outside of the industry. Because, yes, it was clear. Still, yes, he's a snitch. He's not someone that people agree with, yada, yada, yada. The amount of people that were tuning into his live and ready to give him the clout that he had prior shows that he would have been able to just blow right back up. All he would have needed was probably more popular music. I don't think Meek even hindered it by saying something, but I don't think that it's right to say that Meek shouldn't have said anything, because from the background Meek comes from, the shit that Meek's been through, I don't see why we can say, oh, he shouldn't have spoke on that based on the amount. Maybe he knows a lot of people who got locked up from the same type of shit. So now he doesn't want to see someone like Tekashi 6ix9ine continue to gain clout off of that, essentially. Like, that's what all of his clout came from, was snitching. People wanted to see what was coming next. And Meek Mill was one of the people to say, nah, fuck that. Like, everyone on social media, you want to go and give this attention. Other people want to give it no attention, and I understand that part. But what you also have to understand is someone like Meek, who speaks up on shit that he believes in, whether it's right or wrong, and we've seen it in the past with the Drake situation. Like, I can't say he shouldn't have said anything, because if anyone should have said something, it's the guy who had people who, like, he had to have had crossover fans with Tekashi who were sitting there chanting free Meek Mill, who were then watching that live to see what Tekashi's doing. That has to piss you off as Meek. Like, y'all were just talking about free me, but now you're supporting him who got out off of this shit. So if anyone were to speak up about it, I feel like Meek is someone who makes sense to me.
So my take on this a little bit is that I agree with both of y'all to a certain extent. Drew, I think that somebody needed to say something. I don't think it needed to be Meek Mill, but I'm not mad at him for doing it. And I agree with you, Sheridan, in the sense where I don't think that this happens if Meek didn't come out and say something. And I think it's a prolonged, not even an argument, and I'm hesitant to even call it a beef, because I really don't think 6ix9ine is ever going to do anything violent. And Meek has done violent things in his past, whether it be before he was a famous musician or whether it be to other musicians. There's like a context. You can check that on Google or YouTube. Like, he has gotten people, Quentin Miller, for example, you feel me? He had him jumped in a store just for associating with Drake and turning him down for a ghostwriting thing. So somebody like Meek, he's always going to talk for what he believes in or what he feels is right. I don't think he needed to speak up on this. I'm not mad at him for it, though. It's only causing himself to be more liable to be brought down to any type of level. And Meek is way above this. Meek is somebody.
That's my point. He's
way above this. He is somebody who comes from a verified background, and not only that, he's reached rap superstar. You feel me? He's a superstar in hip hop, and there's no reason to stoop down to this level. And I'm glad he didn't let it go beyond where it went.
My thing is yeah, of course he didn't need to do this, but like also at the same time, it's like he puts himself in this situation, and he can't, like, if you're Meek Mill, you can't, like, you're now forever kind of tied to this, in my opinion. People are always going to think of the fact that he got involved with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
That only happens for as long as Tekashi is remembered.
I have permanently lost respect for Meek Mill.
I would say that you were in the minority on that, and I can't say you're wrong. I can't. That's your opinion, and that's how you feel. But I would say that like, I don't think most people feel like that.
I'm not mad at Meek Mill. He can do whatever he wants. I wouldn't even say I'm disappointed in Meek Mill. He has proven himself to not be what I thought he was. And I think if anything, what he did was detrimental to himself. I think he made a mistake to himself. That's why I'm calling it an L for him. Is like, I'm not saying, oh, fuck Meek Mill, I'm mad at him, he did the wrong thing. It's just like, no, I think he made a poor career decision.
For him to be permanently tied to this, it can only last for as long as people remember Tekashi as a musician. You feel me? Like
people will always remember Tekashi as a musician.
People will remember no.
People will always remember Tekashi as a musician.
People will remember Tekashi, but I think Tekashi's music is already almost forgotten. Like no. I think almost everything that Tekashi has done has outshined his music to this point, and that's what he's now known for. I feel like if you ask,
he has songs with billions of views just on YouTube,
and about 80 to 90% of them were before he was locked up and before all that. I'm
not saying his new music is gonna last. I'm saying his old music is timeless.
No, it's not. That is not timeless
Yeah, it is.
music, bro. That shit is it
Yeah,
is
it is.
played out almost already. You
Timeless
can't really
music.
where do you
Yeah.
go out like when shit opens back up, there's going to be a new sound that replaces that sound entirely. Like that's not a sound that plays right now because there's a pandemic, and it's not a sound that's going to play when the pandemic ends because there's going to be a whole new better sound to replace it. That I don't feel like it's timeless music, especially because he got locked up for being a snitch. So when you play that old shit, you're playing goofy shit.
I'm not
Like,
saying people are
When
gonna
you
go
say-
playing 6ix9ine at the club right now. What
What you're saying is that Tekashi's music would have been good 20 years ago or 20 years from now.
Yeah.
No, that is not. No, Tekashi's music is not in a place where it can live forever. Even if you just break it down to the production and the cadences that son uses, it's trapped in a time segment. In my opinion,
it's like when you find out the WWE is fake. Like, you lose all credibility of it ever coming back to being something cool. Tekashi has been exposed. All that shit before was been exposed as a fraud.
Anyone who knew anything always knew Tekashi was not what he acted.
Right,
like
but you also can't
but
pretend
that-
that
as a
his
persona,
entire
though.
fan base was people who knew anything. Like, anyone who knew anything would have
absence-
never given him the time of day to begin with. So people who
the
didn't...
absence of evidence is not the evidence of absence. You feel me? As long as the illusion is able to stay in front of you and you can't disprove it, you can always have doubts. But if it's not proven as a fallacy and an act and a sham in front of your face, and there's at least that remnants of possibility that what he's talking about is good. So you're not going to question the music.
When I was listening to 6ix9ine when he first came out, there was never a remnants of possibility in my head that he was actually about anything he was talking about. It
But
was
it-
just
Right, but he was actually positioned by people of that nature, so it still gave the illusion that he was through that, and that made enough people buy into it. Now that illusion is gone.
Doubts. I had doubt, exactly. I had doubts too. I didn't think Tekashi was a real nigga. In fact, I thought there was a 0% possibility that he was a real nigga. But once it got disproven in front of my face of how not a real nigga he was, then it didn't matter to me. The music will never hit the same. If everything
He was still involved in real shit too.
For me, that whole thing, nothing changed at that point for me. He did exactly what I would have expected him to do in that situation. What pretty much anyone would have done in that situation if they were in jail if they were put in jail by people who put a hit on him, were stealing his money, fucking his baby mom. It's the same thing.
I don't even want to rehash all of that, but you're right. Most people would have done that, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But at the same time, if you're about to rap about how you a real nigga,
who say fuck Tekashi and that he's a snitch and a rat and they're disgusting, they would have done the same thing, and they already
right,
snitched.
and that's why someone like Meek Mill takes issue with it, because he's not someone who would do that. So
most people wouldn't have gotten themselves in a position to do that.
And I also think, like, at the end of the day, you can call it an L for Meek, but I view it more as, like, a win for him to have not engaged in this physically. Like, most people who come from that background, and, like, that, I feel like that, like, you're more looking at Meek from a business perspective, Sheridan, than recognizing that he has a whole life that comes before him being a millionaire who made millions of dollars from being an artist. It's like living in that type of life where you come from a place of checking people like that, checking people who are fake consistently, coming up like that, and then being thrust into this music thing where he tried to do it with the biggest artist in the game, Drake, and that turned out to like shit for him, and he had to end up backtracking on it. So that's why this comes as no surprise to me, and at least he didn't engage physically, and even more so, he didn't allow his team or have a team of people engage physically, because he recognizes, like you and everyone else, this is troll bullshit. It's bullshit that gets them both a little bit of publication recognition whenever it happens. Meek gets brought up more because of it. Tekashi gets brought up more because of it. So it benefits them both in that way, but he's not allowing people to go to jail for something that he knows is fucking dumb. The same way that Wack100, if Tekashi ran up on him, would allow his people to go to jail for that type of situation.
All it takes is one person to decide they're feeling a little extra courage, and then things go south, and because Meek put himself in that situation, nothing he can do about it.
This convo should have ended when Sheridan said Tekashi's music is timeless. I'm not gonna hold you.
That's true. That's a tough one for me to take, because Sheridan saying that, but also taking so much issue with people being fake and not being true to their music. It is a double-edged sword there. I don't really understand it. But as we close up this conversation, I want to talk about what Lil Durk said. I don't know if it was necessarily directly in reference to this, but he said, the goal is not to go to jail, so y'all will never see me do that tough shit on here to look street. I am the streets. And that's where I'll say that Meek took kind of an L. Going to social media with this shit is dumb. Even after the fact, continuing to go to social media with this shit is dumb. Talking about who's his manager. Let me see a picture of his manager. Like, get the fuck out of here with that shit. It's stupid. That's shit that will end up getting you put in jail because you're saying dumb shit. Like, so Lil Durk is apparently the smartest one, and not the only one. There's a lot of artists like that, but more artists need to recognize to keep that shit off social media. Like,
I mean, social media is the bane of a lot of people's existence, to be honest. I think that was one thing that I looked at and was kind of disappointed, for lack of a better word, in Meek, because some of the tweets that I saw regarding this situation were very unnecessary. I thought that he handled, from what I saw, I obviously wasn't there, and there's probably more to the story that I don't know. But from what I saw, I had no problem with how he handled it in person. But afterwards, I would have liked to see him just either address it differently or not address it at all.
Yeah. I agree 100%. And the way he's continued this shit with Wack100 too, like all of it, it's just like you're continuing this all throughout social media. It is very dumb. So overall, I guess Sheridan's right to an extent that Meek doesn't necessarily look like a winner out of this whole thing. He did some smart shit.
Sheridan had some great points, except that Tekashi's music isn't timeless. I'm not about to let niggas say that.
That shit's wild, but we'll see what he has to say about the next artist's music. Cardi B debuted at number 2 with Up, the highest debuting solo track from a female rapper on the Hot 100 this century since Lauryn Hill's Do Wop. That's a big debut for Cardi B. Sheridan, you're very anti-Cardi B. I honestly haven't even heard this track. I've heard bits of it because I saw someone on social media claiming Cardi B stole their lyrics, and then that was disproven. So,
I have actually come to have more respect for Cardi B lately. I like how she's using her voice for like political and social issues and stuff like that. I don't hate Cardi B. The new song she dropped is Dumpster Juice. I listened to it once and I couldn't even believe that it was even a song that someone let her release.
It's number 2.
I don't know. It's awful. I mean, okay, and Tekashi went number 1. A lot of people would say that's garbage. So, yeah, no, definitely not me. But that shit is terrible. The hook was really bad. It was like mind numbing. It almost reminds me of, and like I really like Meg Thee Stallion, but that one song, Body Yada Yada Yada. It was like, bruh.
It's like not for you. I'll say this song is definitely not made for any of the three of us. So our opinion shouldn't be taken too highly anyway, because it's not a song made for three dudes. But what do you think of it, Ant?
I listened to it one time when it dropped. I clicked on it, watched the video, heard the song. I wasn't mad at it. I saw the headline that it went number 2. You feel me? I didn't think it was Cardi's most. I didn't think it was gonna be Cardi's most popular track, essentially, or debut at the highest that any of her tracks have ever done, let alone higher than breaking some of Nicki Minaj's records or matching a Lauryn Hill accolade. You feel me? That's all praises. And so you're totally right to your opinion, Sheridan, that you don't like it. But I guess I'm just happy for Cardi that she achieved something like this. You feel me? It's been almost 2 years now, maybe even 3, that Cardi's been speaking up on politics or trying to be some type of advocate for feminism or black empowerment and people of color. So I do respect her a little bit more after she's took some of those turns. Some of her music some of her music is more for me than other songs. This isn't one that I'll probably be going back to, but I'm sure that this is going to be bumping in the clubs when them shits open up.
Yeah, I imagine. This is we'll see where it goes next week. That's the only thing I could say, because it could be a situation like Tekashi where it debuted at number 1 and then had one of the the highest drops week to week, where it went to like 87 or something the next week. Well, that would be a rough situation.
We gotta expect that more often when there's not everybody in the clubs to keep a song at peak position. The more music drops and shit is gonna boil.
As long as
over
it's not
faster.
a historical drop, that's my only thing. As long as it's not like number 2 to Off the List or number 2 to 100, where you could tell it was literally just pumped up for the headlines, and then next week it's just totally gone. That would lend some credence to what Sheridan is saying, that it's not a very good track and that people don't actually like it. We'll have to see where it.
Yeah, I'm bumping that Billboard. I'm bumping that Billboard #1 track right now. That Driver's License.
Oh yeah.
Driver's License. Olivia Rodrigo.
I'm unfamiliar. I'm not in tune with the
like
Billboard top 10.
I can't remember the last time that I knew the #1 song in the country.
I didn't know. It's a song that I bump like casually anyway, but I knew it was really popular. I didn't know it was Billboard #1 though. I just checked to see like what would have. I was like, wow, I would have expected the Cardi song to go #1. So I was like, what's ahead of it?
Oh yeah, that makes sense. The next topic actually continues to the top 10 of Billboard. The Weeknd has spent 49 weeks in the top 10 with Blinding Lights. He just got done performing at the Super Bowl halftime show. We didn't really get a chance to speak on that because we were off for the week. He spent $7 million of his own money on that. But 49 weeks in the top 10 with a track, I can't imagine that that's consecutively. I imagine it's gone in and out of the top 10. But holy shit. Like, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. The Weeknd is somebody I don't even know how to categorize him or like what lane to put him in or what artist to compare him to. And he's somebody that I expect to continue to shatter records and perform at this type of echelon. You feel me? He's a phenomenal artist. The Super Bowl performance was captivating, and I think he can do gimmicks in a way that doesn't come off to me as like overly corny. And kind of intrigues you and makes you wonder what's next. So props to Abel. You feel me?
He's created like a gimmick for himself. You know, this whole mysterious character that he's stayed in and out of a little bit throughout time. You see how that pays off when you now become a superstar and can continue to do this mysterious, wild shit that people will just talk about because it fits a gimmick. And it's very interesting that not many artists have that ability to have sort of a gimmick attached to what they do.
Absolutely. And a gimmick has such a bad connotation to it most of the time, but a gimmick can be very useful and is not always a bad thing if you can attach it properly. It can be very, very useful.
He's a really smart guy. He's really calculated and just amazingly talented. I thought the Super Bowl performance, I thought like I would have liked to see like more like wild shit, but like it's COVID and I doubt that like I'm sure there were a lot of like restrictions on what he could do in terms of like bringing other artists on, which is like a Super Bowl thing that people do a lot. But in terms of just like the performance and like what he did, he really actually sang. It sounded fucking amazing. He danced. When he went inside the like float or whatever the thing he was on, that was, I mean, I don't know how I would have felt about that if I was in the stands, but from TV that shit was fucking sick, dude.
I ain't even watched the Super Bowl live. I had to watch the recap of the halftime.
Really?
The halftime performance.
But he's a superstar who makes you do that type of shit. You know what I mean? Like I did the same thing, and where I had to go back and rewatch it, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely. The choreography, just the whole setup, the performance and execution itself. He's definitely a gem, and he's gonna go down in history. I don't know where it'll be in history, but the Weeknd is gonna be up there.
We're like in the middle of it too, where he might not necessarily be at his peak, but he's like riding through his peak and his prime of just like. And for him to have put $7 million into a performance that you don't get paid to do, but I imagine he recognized with the pandemic and everything, you have to do something. You don't get
paid for the Super Bowl performance?
Nah, you don't get paid at all. It's like an advertisement situation.
That is the
They're
biggest.
Like, oh, we're giving you free game.
We're gonna put you in front of this many
46 million
people. Yeah, so I guess, fuck that. Yo, I just found out that a lot of famous artists don't pay for like cover arts or beats. I knew that to the beats for a certain extent. But I know a lot of famous artists that are commission artwork without money and for just do this artwork for me, blah, blah, which I thought was pretty corny. But I shouldn't be surprised at this, to be honest.
Right. It's interesting. I
Now I'm
remember
thinking,
when I
like, you
found
think
that
you
out.
get paid for the? You think you get paid to perform at the Grammys and shit like that? Like,
Maybe.
or
I
you
would think
it's a-
so, but I have no idea. A lot of times that's like a situation where people don't perform unless they win an award too. So it's like it could be one of those things. But to the Weeknd situation and to the fact of him spending 49 weeks in the top 10 with Blinding Lights, like I remember when he was rolling out this project, and there were some people like, oh, it's the beginning of a pandemic, like is now the time to drop music, and a lot of artists didn't drop music throughout the whole pandemic. The Weeknd was early with it, dropped a full-length project. His one of the top tracks on it has now spent almost a whole year in the top 10. Like he took the best advantage of the pandemic, really. Like who else could the Super Bowl have chosen for this halftime show that was relevant this year? Like they could easily have done like some historical acts like they've done in the past, but in terms of an artist who was really super relevant this year, it was a great pick.
I got your boy MGK.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'm sure people would have loved that over the weekend.
Oh my God,
I'm glad you suggested it, bro.
Right? Yeah. Right on brand.
Right, yeah, with the bandana and everything, he's right on the MGK brand.
That's
right now.
terrible. Yeah, no, I would not have watched this MGK perform.
But
yeah, you would.
No. The Weeknd killed it though. So yeah, the halftime show, his ability to dominate the last year has been incredible. People were memeing him a couple months back for like some fake surgery and shit. Like the way he's stayed relevant and been able to maintain this year is honestly incredible. Like I can't think of another artist who dominated last year the way he did.
Yeah.
He got and then get snubbed at the Grammys.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. That's still crazy.
Bitch and then you die. Feel me?
Continuing on the topic of stuff on Billboard, Damn has spent 200 weeks on the Billboard 200. I imagine since it's been released, it's been charting. That is not surprising to me, but it's just a testament. When I saw 200 weeks, I'm like, Kendrick, you got to drop new music, bro.
200 weeks.
It's a long time.
200
for one project.
That is nuts. And to not have a follow-up after, I mean, I think it's actually almost doing Kendrick good not to have dropped a project since then. Because Kendrick's not going to allow himself to really truly miss. People will have like their least favorite album of his discography, but the longer he keeps up the allure that he has 3 or 4 perfect albums, you feel me, and he goes 100%, he hits every time, he'll continue to always be in the greatest rappers ever conversation. So if he dropped,
So are you suggesting that there's a possibility that he could like bring himself out of that conversation?
Hell yeah. Not in turn. Well, it depends.
It seems unlikely.
How great is?
I think anyone could.
Kendrick. Rappers could drop to their fault. You feel me? If Kendrick dropped that album each of the last year, you're not gonna put him in the same category. Well, of course you are, but 10 years from now, if his best albums are his first 3 or 4, and then he drops 5 after that, it won't be the same. That's all I'm saying. I probably did a poor job of explaining that. But kind of like J. Cole, you feel me? I think that J. Cole doesn't drop as much as he could, but he definitely drops more than Kendrick. And if you just took Cole's top 3 albums and took off every other album he dropped, and there was more space in between, people would hold him higher. If he only had 2014, Forest Hill Drive, Born Sinner, and fucking what do you think is his 3rd best album?
There has to be 3 good ones.
Oh my God.
There's 3 good ones. KOD is a good one.
I didn't love KOD, but I think Cole's a good example of like.
KOD was terrible. Are we talking about albums or mixtapes? Because like his best project is Cold World.
Cold World. I like Friday Night Lights a lot. I like the warm up. You feel me? There's a lot of shit by Cole, but I am talking albums. If you took off all the albums that you probably think are duds from Cole, or Andrew, if you took off all the albums you think are duds from Cole, and you only had 3 or 4 available that were all his best work to date, he would be held differently. You wouldn't have as much material from him to dissect and be like, I don't like this. You would just appreciate what he has out because there's more.
Still have Wet Dreams.
Bro,
I agree with your point though, and that like if that J. Cole is a good example of an artist who maybe if he had taken more time, and he's someone who almost his fans do complain, and maybe he just falls to that too much where they start complaining, oh, he hasn't dropped in a while, and then he drops. It's like if he had waited, if he had cut out one or two of these projects and dropped and taken more time to really focus on something that's going to be good, and also probably continue to take time and focus on Dreamville and stuff like that, it would have probably been more beneficial for his overall look, because Cole, with coming off of 2014 Forest Hills Drive, everyone was just lauding him as within the top three with Kendrick and Drake easily. Now there's a lot more to the conversation that he's not, and you can agree with it because he continues to drop music.
Who else is taking that spot? Even like
I still hear everybody putting J. Cole super high up. I don't know, like
I was gonna say even debatably, who knocked out J. Cole or anybody from the Cole, Kendrick, and Drake combo. I don't think there's even a debatable person, unless you're like, I really don't know.
I think you think of someone like Travis Scott. You think of someone like Tyler the Creator.
But
Tyler not so much, but Travis for sure.
But out of those three rappers, Travis is the one that sticks out. You feel me? There's one that's not like the rest, and it's Travis.
And so is J. Cole. J. Cole is one that's not like the rest.
I don't know if I agree with that. Look, Ant is gone. He broke everything.
That's fine.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
He's not as good as either of the artists, and he's not half the rapper that Kendrick is.
I feel like he still consistently fits into that top three conversation more than anyone else does, and when people try to pull someone like Big Sean from that era, and it doesn't, that's someone who you're like, okay, this is someone who doesn't fit. Cole fits, if not for quality, just for like the longevity and ability to stay considered with that. With maybe it's just his fan base, but there's enough people that continue to support the guy that it's kind of hard to argue that he's been one of the top three artists. Maybe and it's always going to be subjective based upon like the content. If you feel like he's putting out the best top three content, but those three aren't. You wouldn't even say are putting out the best three content.
They don't gotta be your top three favorite. They don't gotta. I don't think that they're even making the best music out of everybody in the world right now. But when you have that conversation of who's at the top in the past decade and currently, it's still going to start and end with Cole, Drake, and Kendrick. That's how I feel personally. Their status, their celebrity, their quality, their reputation, it all perceive.
Trav just feels like he's in a whole different realm of not even necessarily music. He's like just a superstar entrepreneur at this point.
But you gotta.
But so is Drake.
Travis like Future, but the like bigger. You feel me? And more mainstream and kid friendly. That's how I look at him. I would compare him to somebody like Future before I compare him to a Drake or a Kendrick or Cole.
He feels like, because Kendrick focuses a lot on like QC, or not QC, but like on the business, on helping. So, and Trav is more focused on himself, on not building other artists. I feel like Kendrick is actually focused on wanting to build another label and help with other artists. So that is something else. I don't know. I feel like if Kendrick focused on himself the same way Travis does, maybe we would look at it a little differently, because I feel like they are kind of comparable. But
so Anthony, Drake is more similar to J. Cole than he is to Travis Scott, is what you're saying?
I would say he's more comparable. Yeah, personally to me, I would say.
I 100% disagree with you.
I feel like tougher. I feel like they're both tough comparisons.
Think about the way that Drake came into the game, rocking introspective raps with melodies and over lighthearted beats.
What Travis Scott was rapping too when he first came out.
Name one album that or even a song that Travis Scott has ever made that is introspective. Like, I personally don't know. I could be wrong. I compare him to somebody like Future, because when I'm talking about these rappers at a certain echelon, when you talk about sales, popularity, and all that, Travis is on their level. I'm not trying to say that That's not the case. But when I brought up the Future, I'm comparing sonically. You feel me? I would never compare Travis Scott to a rapper like Drake or Kendrick or J. Cole. I just couldn't do it. You feel me? It has nothing to do with his celebrity.
It's one of those artist conversations where he's definitely.
I wouldn't compare Drake to Kendrick or J. Cole either, though. I guess that's my point. Is like not that I think Drake and Travis Scott are that similar, but I don't think that Drake's more similar to Kendrick.
I think
J.
they're
Cole.
only compared at this point because that's kind of how we came up. You know what I mean? Like those and how they came up as grouped in as a three because of where their trajectories were at that time. I think each one has evolved into their own type of thing where each one has tried to do the label
and J.
thing.
Cole aren't even that similar.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like it's not like you can really say J. Cole and Kendrick rap the same at all. I'm just trying to.
Because I feel like Cole has gone way more in
they're
a
way
pop
more
direction
similar
than
than they are to
Kendrick.
Drake. They're both. I don't know. I don't.
Drake,
I think
Drake.
that you can group J. Cole and Kendrick together, even though Kendrick's way better than J. Cole. But I just don't think you can.
But when you're
group them
talking
with
about
Drake.
when you talk about the best and biggest mainstream rappers, it's gonna start and end with Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar. That's what.
And here's the thing: over time, that grouping has distanced itself from each other in terms of you and depending on how you're looking at it, either from a business perspective or a lyrical perspective or however you want to look at it. Like Drake is obviously further ahead than both of them in terms of just business and superstardom and where he's taken his brand and Drake to. But Kendrick is still a top-level performer, a top-level superstar himself. Cole almost feels like he's definitely fallen behind in that category. But what he's done with Dreamville, and if he can make a star out of that roster, then it will solidify him. I think almost that's kind of what one of these one of these artists need to do. Drake with OVO, Kendrick with Top Dog, or J. Cole with Dreamville is like make another artist, show that they could do it with someone else, because we haven't seen that from any of them, but we have seen each of them do what they can do in music, and that has evolved into something different. I agree, Sheridan, that grouping them at this point, at this stage in their career, 10, 15 years down the line where we've been at this point, it's a lot more questionable, but because it's happened for so long, it's going to forever happen. They're always going to be paired together, but you can see the differences in them business-wise and musically.
I just don't think they're... I don't put... Go ahead.
I'm not trying to compare them musically. I'm talking about in the conversation of the biggest, best mainstream rappers.
And I don't think they're the biggest, best mainstream rappers. I think Kendrick is and Drake is, but J. Cole is not on the level of Travis Scott.
As a rapper, we know how you feel about J. Cole. So I almost feel like you're purposely missing the point of this conversation because of how you personally feel.
No, because if you're talking about biggest, right? We're talking about biggest. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Travis Scott having double the monthly listeners of J. Cole. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Travis Scott selling way more merch than J. Cole. We're talking about Travis Scott being able to sell probably more like other things like fucking Happy Meals. J. Cole couldn't do a Happy Meal. Who wants a J. Cole Happy? No one.
As a rapper, when you bring up discography, when you bring up quality of music, just sonically, you can compare Travis Scott to J. Cole and Kendrick. As a rapper, the conversation is over. The conversation ends there.
And I think even in general, like the casual fan recognizes that Travis isn't necessarily a rapper. I think in general, if you were to ask someone like, what do you consider Travis Scott?
That's not what I'm arguing. I would never argue that Travis Scott is on the level of them as rapping. He's a hip hop artist.
I said the biggest and best rappers, and you said Travis is way better than J. Cole. That's exactly what just happened.
No, I'm saying Travis is ahead of J. Cole.
But we're talking about biggest and best rappers, not just artists. Like I think that's where the conversation, like we're kind of all saying the same shit.
So Drake is Drake is among the best rappers right now. He's in the conversation. J. Cole.
Yes, Drake lyric. Yes, and
because he does a lot more.
I was the biggest Drake hater for years. Like I didn't want that nigga played in my house. I told niggas that liked Drake that they were stupid. You feel me? I was like I crossed that line of being a hater. when I was like 16 or 17, bro. But when you take an objective step back and you listen to Drake's music where he actually decides to put his pen down and be introspective, you take away the ghostwriting rumors because you know not his whole discography is ghostwritten. He's a phenomenal lyricist. Drake is an amazing rapper, and I'll stand by that. You feel me? I don't think he's better than Kendrick. I don't think he's better than J. Cole. But when you talk about the biggest and the best, and you combine those, Drake is always going to be in the biggest and best category. Same with Kendrick.
I agree that he should be, but I don't think he's that much better of a rapper than Travis Scott is.
Are you, yo?
I don't think he's that much better of a rapper. You obviously, you haven't listened to Travis Scott's discography, clearly.
Yo, what, son?
You might have heard his, like, obviously he's not rapping on Astro World. He didn't do a whole, I mean, he rapped on Birds in the Trap.
Birds in the Trap. And what, Birds in the Trap, and I don't even want to spend too much time. But that's not what I'm bringing up.
Because I feel like listen to Howell Ferrell. Listen to Howell Ferrell for me. Just listen to Howell Ferrell for me. That's where I'll leave it.
I'll listen to whatever you want me to listen to. And I just, it's hard for me to even have a conversation like this when you're saying Travis Scott is not that far behind as a lyricist to a Drake. I don't think he is. That's blasphemy.
I feel like Travis's whole like claim to fame and everything isn't even necessarily the lyricism. It's like everything that goes around it, and that's I don't know. I feel like
Travis is an artist that if he had ghostwriting rumors, if people were found out, which he does have ghostwriting rumors, nobody gives a fuck because nobody cares.
Because it's like the Kanye
shit. He just has people write some of his stuff. It's not rumor. It's just like it's not rumor. It's like you just go look at his writing credits and people wrote it.
People are gonna look at their writing credits, so you hear mumblings that Travis Scott has a ghostwriter, and then you spread it to somebody else. That's a rumor. And do you give a fuck? No, because it's Travis Scott. But somebody who's looked at as a great rapper like Drake, you get a ghostwriter and it's over for you. You're out of that discussion. You feel me? Nobody gives a flying fuck if Travis Scott has a ghostwriter. It doesn't matter because they're not equatable or comparable as rappers. That's...
I think I agree. Let's go to the next point. The next point is a good one. The next topic is a good one. Is Rihanna ever coming back to make music again? Savage and Fenty have been mentioned that they're worth $1 billion at this point. Rihanna hasn't dropped music in a while. She doesn't really have a reason to drop music necessarily anymore at this point. She's made a ton of fucking money doing her other ventures. Looks like that's only going to continue for her. So, yeah, I mean, it's Sheridan. I understand your point of like a simple yes, but she doesn't have to. You know what I mean?
And no, I don't. I'm not saying it's going to be this year or next year or the year after, but she'll drop more music. Like it's. I think it's kind of inevitable that like. I don't know. I don't know Rihanna, but like. I don't know. I couldn't imagine just like stopping making music and never doing it again. So it's kind of hard for me to understand that concept, especially as someone who's like had so much success with it. Not that I think she needs to have any more success with it. She has 5 classic albums. But I think that in general, I'll be very upset if she doesn't drop more music. So I think that I need to just expect that it's going to happen, and I'm not going to really accept any other outcome.
I just looked at Rihanna's Spotify. I don't listen to Rihanna at all when I'm by myself, but I've listened to her so many times with people, you feel me? I enjoy her music, but I can't say I'm crazy familiar with her entire discography, so I just checked it on Spotify. She only dropped 2 albums in 9 years. And she hasn't dropped an album since 2016, which is
she still has 43 million monthly listeners. She has the same amount as Travis Scott.
Yeah, and so she's like, it's ridiculous, and I do believe she'll come back to make music at some point. But I also don't have anything to base that off of besides I know she still loves music. You feel me? And I know that when she wants to make a passion project, she wants to. It won't be out of money. It probably won't be to get out of a deal or some shit like a lot of artists get trapped in. Rihanna has all the leverage in the world right now, and whenever she wants to make music, she will, which I think will actually happen. I don't think she'll let it. The last project, as great as it was, I don't think that she'll let that be her last.
And I think that's a good point in terms of like, I don't think that she's going to cap it off on that. No, she seems like someone who would let her fans know. But she's at a point like when you're an artist, yeah, you want to be able to make music and generate an income off of making music. But when you're making significantly more, doing something else you have a pretty high interest in, and creating a brand that is outside of what is typically seen, like she's essentially like living the dream of what you want when you come from being an artist. And so at a point, do you just like recognize, I don't want to put the creative thought into making music, or I don't want to put the effort into making music, because she obviously has writers and stuff too. But
if you think she stopped making music, then you're mistaken. I think she just stopped releasing music. She's definitely created some shit since 2016. You feel me? And
I don't think she's created a lot though.
I can't say she's created anything. I just can assume it. You feel me? That's a 5-year gap, and to just go cold turkey from music, even in your own life, that's just unfeasible to me. But you can look at somebody you have a great point though, because I could see that happening, Drew. But look at somebody like a Jay-Z or a Nas, who have ended up making hundreds of millions, Kanye, who have ended up making hundreds of millions in other ventures, and are legends in the game. And are way older than Rihanna, 40, 50. They're cemented in history, and they don't have to drop anything ever. But they balance their business and only drop when they want to. You feel me? There's never a need for them to drop again, but they're going to when they feel like they have something to say.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. And like that's where it might just end up being a while, you know what I mean? Still, where we are waiting even longer for more Rihanna music. Because I agree that she will likely continue. It's just, and it's not something we've seen so much from female artists over time. You could think of Beyonce with Jay-Z, but you were able to name quite a few like male artists who were able to do that type of situation where you can transition back and forth between business and music. And who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I think that people will be clamoring to hear new Rihanna music whenever it comes out, though.
Agreed. I want to see.
I will lose it.
I want to know who she's.
And that's telling, because it's not for us. You know what I mean? Like I'm with you guys in terms of I will be very excited when she drops. Yeah, but it is, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like she's definitely not just making music for 20 some odd year old white guys in upstate New York. You know what I mean? But we still enjoy it.
She's making this album for me.
You got it, bro. I understand now. You got it. Something I'm interested in that's coming to Netflix on March 1st. I don't know if you guys are going to be catching it when it first comes out, if it's something you guys are even interested in. But Biggie Smalls, they got a documentary coming out called Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell. They got Diddy involved with it, so hopefully it's going to be well done. But are you guys interested in the story at all? Everyone's familiar with Biggie, obviously, and the story of Biggie Smalls, but like, are you interested in seeing it in this light, in the Netflix documentary light, rather than another way?
1,000%. I'm not. I feel like Diddy has to be involved, but I'm not necessarily excited for the fact that Diddy's involved. I like Diddy, and I think that he knows Biggie, especially his success and come up better than a lot of people. I just hope he doesn't do anything to fluff this piece and keeps it straight bare to the bone like they're advertising, and we get all this exclusive newfound information that hasn't ever been exposed. When you lead a documentary saying that you're about to say something that nobody's leaked in 25 years, that says something. So I am pumped, and I always feel like the New York legends, Biggie in particular, needs to have his place. You know, we had the biopic, we had Notorious, which was an amazing movie, but we haven't heard much about Biggie since then, if we're being honest. And it's just amazing to see that. I suggest everybody listen to the song by Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell. It's fucking hilarious, and I'm sure they're gonna touch on that in the movie. When I saw the name of it, I got excited instantly. I just hope that they really do it justice, which I have faith they will. Netflix has been knocking it out the park lately.
Yeah, they have, and they do really well with documentaries and stuff like that, so that's why I'm excited for it, if nothing else. Like, I think that this will be really well done, presented well, and like you said, Diddy being involved, it's not necessarily something I'm super excited for, but it does seem necessary to kind of get the whole scope of the story. And when you see a documentary and you see people that should be involved but necessarily aren't always involved in projects like this, you're glad about it because you know that they're going through and doing the right process of stuff. So
Absolutely.
it'll definitely be one I'm ready to check out when it first comes out. Something else.
I mean,
no, go ahead.
Biggie's death anniversary is actually the day I got shot, which is coming up like a week after the documentary drops. So I'm kind of confused on why they didn't drop it on his death anniversary. But it's a week before, so I guess the timing makes sense.
Yeah, probably give people time to learn about it before it.
Because a lot of times the first day that something will come out on Netflix, it won't immediately go on like the top 10 on Netflix. Sometimes it'll take a day or two.
That makes sense. Let it get some build up.
Bet. So I'm excited for that. Something else I'm excited for, we're going to go ahead and start playing some tracks from Upstate. And the first one isn't going to be a full track, it's just going to be a snippet. But I'm so excited for Matthew Cornwell to start dropping some music that I saw he posted something on Facebook, a little snippet. I wanted to play it for everybody, make sure they heard it. We'll discuss it. And, we'll just play it, discuss it in a minute. It's Matthew Cornwell, so you already know what it is.
Everyone swears they know something, and everyone swears they know you. Everyone swears they got an answer, yeah. But wouldn't you too? I walked down Walnut Street to Belmar, a pack of cigarettes and change, just enough whiskey to drown.
So that's a snippet, a little 30 seconds there of, I don't know if that's the track he's dropping on March 1st, but Matthew has a track titled Groovy coming on March 1st. So if that's it, I'm excited for it. If it's not it, I'm still excited for it because Matthew is amazing. What do you think, Sheridan?
I heard that snippet when he posted it. I think I was with Ryan and he played it for me. I actually liked it a lot more listening to it this time than I did the first time. I was a little thrown off the first time. It almost has I dare to say a country vibe to it.
Some twang to it.
Yeah, there's a little twang in like the melody that he's using. I've heard kind of in country music before, but he's gliding like it's like an older vibe to it. He's talking like, I don't know, just I like the flow, especially the second flow he goes into, and he's just gliding on it. He's perfect. His voice sounds perfect. I'm really excited to see where he takes that song. If it stays kind of mellow, if there's a point where he changes the chords and gets a little more intense, I don't know. But either way, I'm excited to see this hear this because it's not really. It wouldn't have been what I expected to hear from Matthew next. But I don't know.
Yeah. This is just the tip of the iceberg, bro. I was at Kelsey's house last week. And for a while, it was just me and Matthew Cornwell. Kel stepped out and went to go grab some ice. And nigga ended up taking like 30, 40 minutes. And Matthew sat down and played me the project he's about to drop front to back. And this song wasn't on it, if I remember correctly. I think this is just a single. But Jesus Christ. He stepped into bags that we wouldn't expect him to. He grew in terms of what he's trying to do. The execution is flawless. When I heard this snippet, I was like, oh shit. So he's got shit locked and loaded before the project. Like he's coming more calculated, and the music is absolutely phenomenal. You feel me? I was really I didn't even know what to say listening to it. Each song felt like its own little story, its own little vibe. And this is so separate than everything I heard. This is just another bag that he delved in. So this was interesting to hear. I do hear what you are saying when you compare it to like some of that country shit. I heard the twang, but it didn't sound like a country record. I think it was some of the acoustics and the melodies that he chose. So I'm interested to see what the song sounds like in totality when it drops.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for any new Matthew Cornwell. I was talking to him a couple months back on a different podcast that I was doing, and it was a great conversation just to discuss like his plan to release music, how much he's been working through the pandemic and recording. And I know he's been recording because I've seen him on live a couple times recording some stuff. He's someone I'm really excited to see release some music because it's going to generate a buzz for the whole upstate community. I feel like because a lot of people will check what Matthew has coming and they'll recognize, oh, it's not just Matthew that's working like this. There's a whole other community of artists that are doing this. And Matthew has continued to work throughout the pandemic on live performances and stuff like that too. So he's someone who does a great job. And like I said, his music. I love his music, so I'm excited that he's finally got some more coming down the pipeline.
It's ridiculous.
So talented.
Yeah, it's unfair.
Right. He's extremely talented, so I'm definitely excited to see what he has coming. Like I said, Groovy, he's dropping that on March 1st, so keep an eye out for Matthew to finally start dropping some music. Someone who's been dropping music a little bit more consistently, Sha Racks. He dropped a project, I believe, last month. He's dropped a couple singles this month. He sent me this track sometime this week, Thinking About You. We're going to go ahead and play it, see what y'all think.
Thinking about you tonight. Got a lot on my mind. Wish I could press with one. Running back in time. They still backdooring. I can't do no more of this. Base life off of my choices, I cannot afford it. At least I never deserved it. So much pain, it got me hurting. Can't see you walk around the block no more. I wish I could see you one more time to get in the studio. And it hurt my heart. When I got that call, everything fell apart. And I can't even feel no more. And I can never trust no more. Niggas switching chill out. Fuck around and spin the block. That's the way to get you shot. Violent, we go to war. Can't be around those snake niggas. A lot of niggas wanna eat with you, but never put nothing to play with you. Can't be like that. Gotta keep on hunting with all my brothers. I'm always eat with my brothers, nigga. Thinking about you tonight. Got a lot on my mind. Wish I could press with one. Running back in time. They still backdooring. I can't do no more of this. Base life off of my choices, I cannot afford it. At least I never deserved it. So much pain, it got me hurting. That was my baby, bro. Got me feeling so emotional right now, I can't talk. Every time you see me, I be so sore. LA put on my VVs, that's my heart. We used to jam the Amber Rose. LA would up, pulled up to all my shows. And VIP with Ross and them. Yeah, that's how we was in the A, we got in the club for free. Broken rock star, young celebrities, that's how we dream. Bro used to tell me that he wanted the patches on his jeans. LA was a flea nigga, he even tried, that's just how we be. And it's always long live my brother, man, that's just how it be. Long live LA, man, you still a king. Love you, LA. Thinking about you tonight. Got a lot on my mind. Wish I could press with one. Running back in time. They still backdooring. I can't do no more of this. Base life off of my choices, I cannot afford it. At least I never deserved it. So much pain, it got me hurting.
And that was Thinking About You from Sha Racks. I like that. I thought that was really dope. And the track itself is very personal. So that is I love to hear that from artists, but especially an artist like Sha Racks. For some reason, just that personal side from him I think is really dope to see. And so I appreciate him sending that in. What do you guys think?
I agree with you. That was my favorite part of the song. Was the lyrical content. I thought he was able to kind of delve into his personal life pretty well, and I love when artists do that in general, but when it's done well, it's good. I can't say overall it was one of my favorite Sha Racks songs, though. I didn't totally love some of the melodies. It was very very Dirk, like even like some of the trail offs on his voice. I was like, is this Lil Durk? And that's not a bad thing. It's just I usually like to hear a little more uniqueness from Sha, and he has it, and I've heard it, and that's why I'm a fan of his. And I would say there were points in the mix that I wasn't loving, that I thought sounded pretty abrasive. There were points that sounded fine, and then like points, like I said, where he kind of trails off his voice, where I'm just like I'm thrown off. Or points where he'll like switch a flow and I feel like it punches in a little too loud and hard. But other than that, I think it's a solid song. It's just Sha Racks is so good. I know he has better, in my opinion, at least.
No, I hear what you're saying. First and foremost, I want to send my condolences to Sha and everybody else that's hurting from this. Some of the tributes that I've seen for LA have been beautiful. I didn't actually know the guy. But I know a lot of people that did, and from all accounts, he seemed like a stand-up dude. So rest in peace, and my condolences, Sha, because I can hear the pain in this track. There was a couple lines towards the end in that last verse where I felt like I was about to get chills. You feel me? You did it. So it's always great to pay homage, and I feel weird even judging this song from like a critical standpoint. That shit was dope. I was on the journey the whole time. I think you did a good job painting the picture. I thought as soon as I heard the name and once I heard the beat, I thought I knew what this song was about to be, and you executed it well. You feel me? The mix could have been better. So I guess that's the only feedback I could possibly give on this. But the mix didn't throw me off. I think every mix can be better at the end of the day. So I was still vibing. I'm about to give that another spin later.
Yeah, so like I said, I appreciate him sending that in, especially with it being a personal track and everything. Like, it was really dope. So we appreciate that. And Sha has been sending me stuff. At least he sent me, I think, 2 different tracks. One a week before, too, but we were off. So Sha is working, and I appreciate him sending it to me, letting me know when it's coming, because it just makes it easier to play it, easier to cover it on the website and stuff like that, too. So shout out to Sha Racks for sending that in. We got another track to play here in a minute that we got sent in. This one wasn't sent in, but it was one I wanted to play. They've been hyping it up for a couple months. Don Pablo and Dre V. Right Hand. Let's go ahead and play it. We'll talk about it here in a minute. It's a good track.
Strip God, and they know.
Chai's mixed it.
Here's a bag for your beauty. Shorty got her own, spent the bag on her booty. I be in my zone, laid back, but I'm loopy. Different type of time, I ain't validating groupies, no. Don't tell me you love me if you don't mean it. She a hot girl, but her heart is anemic. You should stop at sex, introduced to the anemics. Tryna find my ex, I ain't even give her a reason. She just love a nigga. Used to fuck with a sucker nigga. So traumatized, can't even tell that I'm fucking with her. My eyes never tell lies, I hope you notice. We can go on dates in disguise so blocks don't notice. I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. Gave you mine. Now baby, be my right hand. You my go-to. Tell me everything about you, and that's a bold move. See, I know that you're out here, and there's things you gotta go through. Just know that these streets just don't love you like I do.
You're my right hand, close to me like where the grip at. Bullets that hit your 6-pack, thinking that you could get that. My right hand, don't move to the dice land. Looking at her French, you know I got a thing for light skins. I told her I'm trying to get rich cause I got the right plan. When I used to fuck with the pills, no she ain't like Zans. Used to tell me stay in the crib when I was purging, lurking, chilling with some niggas who was hurting. I'm MB, big chop, kicking like it's Jet Li. Trying to take you to MSG with the best seats. I'm trying to whip you in the foreign. With me it's never boring. She love me cause I'm macking and I'm bored.
You my right hand, you my go-to. Tell me everything about you, and that's a bold move. See, I know that you're out here, and there's things you gotta go through. Just know that these streets just don't love you like I do, and they never will. I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. Gave you mine. Now baby, be mine.
And that was Right Hand from Dre V and Don Pablo. What'd you think of that one, Ant?
It's just a bop. It's just a super bop. Dre came in on the hook. You know, the bridges were dope. The melodies were fire. And the contrast between him and Don Pablo's voice and energy just blend well. Beats like this are always a vibe, and they executed it very well. So props to them. This track hit.
Bro, that shit is a fucking slapper. I love it. Like, that is my kind of, like, that beat, the vibe that Dre hit with the hook, like you said, the contrast with Don, like, that is, like, my ideal type of track, you know what I mean? I just love shit like that. Dre killed it. And, like, the hook is great, but I even love, like, the little, like, post-chorus he does.
Yeah,
I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. Like, that shit is dope. And I just think in general, like, I played that for a couple females, and they were like, that shit could, like, be a famous mainstream song. Like, and I think that's really what we're trying to go for. I mean, so
everybody wants to hit.
What are your guys' thoughts on the hook utilizing lines from, like, a Drake song though? Like, does that take away from the track for you guys at all, or no?
I noticed that too.
What? I didn't notice that.
So you guys haven't heard the song "Right Hand" by Drake at all, or no?
Not off the top.
I know. I
of
did.
my head.
Okay, yeah. So there's a, like, what, 4 bars of the hook are just straight from that track, and so, like, I don't even, what do you consider that? It's not biting.
Well,
it's
Drake,
like referencing.
No,
Drake.
Drake does that all the time. So
yeah, I know.
Do it bad.
I agree, but it's tough, and I don't think it sounded bad. I think they did a good job with it. I think it was effective, but it is the first thing I thought of when I heard the track, because I was like, oh, I've heard these bars before. I've heard these lines before on another track, but I think they did a good job, and if it's the same type of style. So I was just wondering what you guys thought about it.
It wouldn't be the first time it's happened.
Doesn't take anything away from me.
I would have to hear it. It doesn't take anything major away from me at all. And especially because I didn't immediately identify it. It's not something that I could really compare
And I
to.
don't know if the Drake track is
the
out officially or not. It might have been a leak, but I know that there's a Drake track called "Right Hand" where it's like the hook is the exact same almost, but
I haven't heard that, so it's not something that I noticed. But if I had, I don't know. I probably would have felt.
Well, I got an unreleased song called "Left Hand." So.
Oh, there we go.
Oh damn, that nigga bitch you, bro.
No, I just remember we had discussed it with JJ with a track JJ had done in the past too. And what is the term for that? It's not biting, but what is the
homage.
term? Just paying homage to another track. Like,
Homage.
I feel like there's like a term
you're making
for
a
just
you're making a
reusing.
rendition.
Yeah.
You're making a rendition.
Like repurposing.
It's a released song by Drake.
I think it would take. I don't know if that would be called sampling technically, or like it's a vocal sample. Like, but I would just call it homage.
Yeah.
As long as you don't like try to say it's original, or like you're not like trying to say. But I don't. Well, maybe Dre never heard the track. You feel me? I don't know. I don't.
No
I know
way,
that's
bro.
even a
There's no
possibility.
way.
Well, I don't know that. I don't know. So I had to give the benefit of the doubt. You feel me?
Yeah.
But if as long as he's open about it, or somebody would be open about it and not try to say.
And well, that's the thing. As long as
then it's just homage.
If they tune into this and they're like, yeah, no shit, we paid homage to Drake, like, duh, we're not trying to steal his lines, then yeah, that's great. If he's like, I've never heard the song before, then it's like, all right, bro, come on. We're none of us are stupid here. Let's play it real. But no, I think, and the track, it was really good. Like, they did an effective job with it. So.
I'm sure he's fully like aware and has heard the song.
I'm sure he would admit to it if he has. But I will say, as somebody who's fucking been writing for over a decade, you feel me? I have written shit and had it in my notebook and then heard it on a different song before, you feel me?
Definitely.
And been like,
just the rhyme scheme and the melodic, it's the exact same thing. So it's like,
I'm gonna take your word for it. I just, like I said, benefit of the doubt.
But it's a good track, like I said. So it doesn't take away from the track for me.
Track. I like it better than the Drake track.
I might agree, because I really fuck with Don Pablo, and his verse on that is really solid. Like, the way the two sound on that, too, sounds really good. Like, that's why I think it was really good. Like, Dre...
And I love when Dre steps into that bag, because he's not always prone to do that, but he can, and when he does it, he normally does it really well.
Well, and that's where doing it this way is probably the most effective way, because rather than jump into that bag with some lyrics that just don't necessarily fit, like those lyrics fit, it sounded great, there's really nothing you could say bad about it outside of the fact that you can hear those words in another song, and depending on their intention is how I would really feel about that, really. So, and again, I agree with you, Sheridan. I don't think there was any like, oh, no one's gonna recognize if we steal this. I think it was a homage thing.
I don't think anybody ever would take Drake lyrics and try to palm them off as theirs just because of how big he is. You feel me? Like, and granted, when I say nobody ever, I'm just talking about out here.
You're just trying. This is a Sheridan trying to hate on Drake fucking episode or what?
Sheridan. Well, we know Sheridan's a hater.
Yeah. You're right.
I like Drake.
All right.
He's just a biter. He's just a biter.
All right.
He hasn't dropped a good album in a while, and he's a biter.
I'm excited for this next track. AOHB sent this in. He emailed it to me. Y'all hear that? 2 emailed tracks we got this week. I'm excited. I believe it's called the Sabrina Carpenter freestyle. Let's jump right into it.
Yeah. Look, I need a whip with a drop top. They be all volume, think they top notch. Singing all sweet, making pop rock. Fucking chickens trying to cock block. I leave G-Shock, shit stop watch. Fuck a chain, I'm trying to lead the rap game. Lock. This too fire, shit stop drop. Yeah, I'm on a roll. Too sick, you can't catch this. If it's a common cold, guess I'm on a roll. Catching grade A head and I'm about to blow. Then it's adios, bitch, time to go. Look, catch head and tail like Two-Face. Still in the basement, screw face. Shorty got a fatty mood swings and the bitch bad, she love Lupe. But the dating shit turn fiasco. Don't give a shit and I'm the asshole. Run a track, yeah, I probably lap, bro. About to flood the game from the apple. I was pulling game, I was talking shit. Had Shorty clapping like an audience. I was jack shit and now I'm popping, bitch. They never tend to my goals, now they blocking rim. Shit's obvious, they just too jealous. Nine in my pants like the new cheddar. Like a bitch bob, even if it's yours. That's supplying now to like whoever. Feather shit floating on this bitch. If I catch you sleeping, then I'm getting heated. Turn Tempur-Pedic. Yeah, I want beef, they uncomfortable. Like I mess with vegans. Fuck dressing season, get a body bag for their whole career. God in my pops is my only fears. 2020's mine, hope I made it clear. They like shit's gas, HB dope. Rappers alarm when they see smoke. They hate competition, trying to block my listens. Got a pot to piss and I don't need hope. Rappers choking like my shorty deep throat. Every rapper y'all sees ghosts. All I'm seeing is fucking sheep though. Got 32 if we reload. Can't take an L, shouts Debo. I be flipping words like Knievel. If you acting froggy, take the leap, bro. I do it even if it's deep, ho. If the shit's erased, then my rough draft's better than your finish. I ain't even started, I'm already winning. Think you need conditioning or just stop spitting. Y'all is really bitches who ain't fit for the rap game, all cap. I don't like your tone, I'ma call back. I got trust issues, can't fall back. Y'all ain't got skill, I got all that. Stay 100 like I keep a stack. Shorty with it, I'ma peep it back. Bitches screaming like I'm Bieber's ass. Someone tell Sabrina that we need a track, yeah.
So that was the Sabrina Carpenter freestyle from AOHB. That was fucking sick. Y'all like that or what?
That was crazy.
I
wish it, bro. Fuck Sabrina Carpenter though.
What is that? Who is that?
She's in some fucking. Kind of. She's in this like Sabrina the Teenage Witch show or whatever on fucking Netflix, but she also makes music. That song I was talking about earlier that's #1 on Billboard, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo. She wrote that song about this guy that like I don't remember exactly how it was, but basically they fell out, and then he is now dating this girl Sabrina Carpenter, and Sabrina Carpenter wrote like dropped like a response track to her, and basically was like, oh, like, I'm fucking your man, basically. And this girl, Olivia Rodrigo, is a minor, and Sabrina Carpenter is a grown man or is a grown woman, so not a grown man.
Okay, that got weird.
Yeah, that was a lot, but the track was fire.
yeah, but thanks for the backstory, though. I guess it's good to have that. Yeah, the track was dope.
The track was crazy.
The beat was crazy. Maybe people have heard this beat already. I haven't heard this beat yet. And when he came on, immediately I was hooked. You feel me? Towards the middle, there was a point where I was like, where's he going with this? And the song was a little bit longer than I expected it to be. But overall, shit was fire. He kept that energy the whole time.
When he came in, we all looked at each other and started laughing because he was going crazy.
When the energy he came in, when he dropped the rhyme scheme that he was using, the pocket that he found, everything for the most part was good about this song. You feel me? I think that AOHB is somebody that once he reminds me so much of like everything that I was like a little bit ago. You feel me? I think that when he sits down and just locks in and evolves, bro, he's gonna be so wild. Cause this right here is something that I want to do now. You feel me? I just want to hear a beat, high energy, and just snap. And that's what he is. He's such a little raw ball.
Dude, if he just consistently dropped like videos of him just doing this with the same, if he has the same level of energy performing it as it sounds like he does, like.
The thing is, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I there's a chance on, but this was a one take, and it's almost something that would benefit him in terms of the song to punch in, just to tighten up the flow at some points, but it almost benefits the raw energy. I feel like if he had videos to it, I think he could do it, because I think these are all one takes. If you can one take in the booth, you can one take for a video.
And like even if you just produce it to look like a one take, you know what I mean? Because that's what some of those freestyle videos are anyway. They're produced to look like it that way. Like either way, if he was putting out and like really putting solid effort into a really good production effort of this, I think it would blow up, especially on like Facebook and Twitter, where you can just post videos of him rapping and him freestyling, and just the energy and the lyrical content catches you off guard. It's not necessarily what you're expecting. We've heard him before. We've heard his freestyles before and know what to expect, and it still caught each one of us where we, like Sheridan said, started laughing because it was
same with the last track we played by him.
Yeah.
The same with the last track. Like it seems like he's definitely taken a turn for the better. I think he's finding a little bit more of his lane and what he wants to do, at least like from a sound perspective. I'm actually, when we're done with this podcast about 3:00, I'm about to go with AOHB to T Melly's crib, and I'm about to record with some. I'm about to see what some made of, what he like in real life.
And that's the stuff that's the stuff that's going on in Upstate that's going to help a lot of these artists, and really the growth of the community in general too, is like being able to work with people like you and just working together, because you see it from different camps and different artists in the area working with just different people that you didn't see a year ago. It's really been beneficial for some of the younger artists especially, but just all the artists in general, like getting together, seeing like it's cool to work together, it's cool to make music with different people, and have a producer that I work with and bring in some of my friends to work with. Like that type of stuff, you've seen it grow over the last year and a half to where the Upstate community really is buzzing, and some of these younger artists are going to benefit from it because of what's been going on. And so to see him work with you and continue to build on that and recognize, okay, how can I be a better artist? Oh, I can go work with Anthony Cannon and do this type of shit. Like that type of stuff. Like I can think back to when I was making music and I didn't know where the fuck to go, what to do, who to work with. It was always more dramatic to work with other artists than it was to like come together and collaborate, because everyone was trying to compete. Now some of these younger artists are seeing like, oh, I can learn from these guys and we can all grow together, and it can become a beneficial situation for everyone. So it's been great.
You're absolutely right, and that's one of the things I love about the culture of Upstate right now. You feel me? Like, it's going to be beneficial for him. It's going to be beneficial for me. It's going to be beneficial for T Melly. You know, I'm going to learn something from him. I always learn something about music or about somebody when I work with them, and it's great going to be able to do it in person. And I hope I hope I provide something that he can take with him. I hope he learns something that ends up benefiting him, and we make some great music. But it's just really nice to make the
just
connection.
To see him putting himself in that position. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he has to have the right type of mindset to be going in to learn, just because he's in that position to learn. You know what I mean? Like we've
had some really great conversations, and I've never met him. It's always been through the DM, but he's very insightful. He has a good head on his shoulders and knows where he wants to go and where he is. And so I'm gonna keep it. It's going to be very casual today. We're just going to chop it up and make some music. I don't want to pick his brain too much. Right. But especially after hearing this track, now I know exactly the first thing I'm going to talk to him about.
Right. Well, and that's the crazy thing. It doesn't even have to be like school. Just being in that environment and seeing how you are in a studio environment and stuff, like that's going to do a lot for someone like him, I feel like, just to know, all right, here's how I can carry myself differently. Here's how I can do stuff differently. Like, there's so much that goes to it. Like, just working and collaborating with other artists can go so far. So, shout out to him. Shout out to everyone in the upstate area that continues working together. We got a couple more tracks to play. One track and one video. We're going to play Richie's Sacraments video after this next track. But I got one more track sent to me this week. This was from Nick Lambo. It's titled Billie Eilish. We're going to see what this is about. And, yeah.
She don't know much about me, but I can tell you one thing, that she looks beautiful on every single outing. The way she does her hair now really drives me crazy. Take some time to know ya, see you as my lady, I can see you as my.
Come sit next to me, my love. Can't sit still, straight faded on the drugs. Liquor in the system got me tryna fuck. Hotel room, rose petals in the tub. Why can I not focus? Chest pain, heart's broken. I cannot let you know this. Commitment level devoted. I'm getting high now. Addiction won't give in. Gotta kick the drug use somehow. Numbs the pain within. Outside with the gang, I'll be getting in, baby, inside. And I know she's trying to live again. Not another night that we deal with the bickering, yeah.
She don't know much about me, but I can tell you one thing, that she looks beautiful on every single outing. The way she does her hair now really drives me crazy. Take some time to know ya, see you as my lady, I can see you as my.
I can see you as an angel, I can see a halo. I don't mean the game, fuck them bitches, I'ma lay low. You want it, I'ma get it, I'ma do it when you say so. I ain't gon' dip out on you like queso. I was trying to stack up all them pesos, trying to build it up something like Legos. I'ma bring something to the table. I'm a boss, you know everything.
All right. I'm gonna cut it off. We didn't make it the whole track. Why is this the second time we haven't made it through a full Nick Lambo track? I'm not a huge fan. I didn't love the track.
Would you say you're like a little fan?
What? No, I mean I don't. Listen, all right, I appreciate sending in tracks for sure, but there does come a point where like we are gonna have to cut them off if we don't like them, because I didn't love that. You guys, what'd you dislike about that? Where have I heard that fucking beat before? That's an upstate artist has dropped a track on that beat, right? Or no? Am I tripping?
It sounded familiar, I guess, but it didn't sound identical to anything I've ever heard.
I'll find
Definitely
it later.
sounded familiar.
And that's probably just I'm not saying he stole anybody's beat.
I don't even remember the beat. I was too
the subject matter.
I was distracted by the subject matter and the lyrics, and I don't get it.
I guess. I mean, if it is a song, I was so worried when I saw the title of the track being Billie Eilish, like, because the subject matter on that point, like, if it's a song about Billie Eilish, it's kind of weird. Everyone knows that it's kind of weird and why it's kind of weird. Like, Nick's older than I am. Like, Billie Eilish is way younger than I am. So I don't know if that's the point.
I don't know. Maybe he named it that because of the beat or something. I don't.
Even sonically, it was like
it was thrown off. I was thrown, and I'm personally one of the things I do like, or like one of the redeeming qualities to him as an artist, to me personally, is his voice. And it was just I was not a fan of his voice on this at all. It was almost I don't even know. I don't even know how to really make it better. I just think that this wasn't. Well, no, this just was not for me. And I don't think that I can't really name too many people.
It's for
that are
Billie Eilish, bro.
Yo, no, I've heard some Lambo tracks that I did not hate. That I was like, okay,
I think he needs to focus in on like getting.
I've heard some that kind of bop a little bit. You feel me?
No, I agree. I've heard Lambo. I'm not trying. This song is awful. But like I've heard Lambo tracks that aren't bad.
The feature artist too, or was that just him with a different voice?
With a different voice.
It doesn't say like there wasn't a feature artist on the track he sent me, but it sounded like. I thought it was hilarious, but
when he said queso, I was laughing. Like I don't know, it was the delivery, the mixing, the execution, the way that you tried it. I don't know. This just wasn't. I don't. If you're gonna dabble in this lane again, I suggest like trying something a little bit different or just attacking it.
Well, and when you're going in this lane, you absolutely have to put more emphasis on your production value. Like you can't go in this lane and just have very little production value. Is what I felt from it. Like
the bars were very. Even the lyrical content wasn't there. It's not like the singing.
Right, but when you go into this sound of things, like you can get away with like poor lyrical content if it sounds good and you can make it sonically go together. Like I don't know, I didn't.
Shit, I didn't want to hear.
Were there any positive?
Coming up nobody's
were there any positive qualities you enjoyed from this track, Sheridan?
Or I don't want. It's hard, bro. That you just put us on the spot like that.
I caught you guys by surprise when we cut it off. We don't cut them off very often, but we should cut songs off more often. Because we sometimes we let them play. Well, yeah, that's the thing is people do tune into this podcast and then we play songs and then I have to watch the viewer count go down because of a song that I knew was bad and I just let play for 3.5 minutes anyway. This week we're trying something a little different. And it'll happen more often when there are tracks that we can universally tell like it's not the best, but we're not closing on that note.
Shout out Lambo because he do be in the comments sometimes. You be tuning in, you be sending in tracks, and we respect you. We've talked about previous tracks. You know that we fucked with some of it. We've even had some discourse back and forth. This track just wasn't really it. You feel me? And by any means. But luckily we don't
it's
have to
much
worry
less
about
controversial than the last track that we played from him. So there is that benefit. But there was just enough things that like confused me about it that I don't know. Lambo, keep sending us music because we do appreciate your music and some of your tracks like we do fuck with. Like we listen to the project and stuff. You just told me you was about to have to cut them off.
I
don't know. Maybe.
I was just fucking with you.
I can't see the future, bro, but send us some more music. We appreciate everyone sending us music. At the very least, you're gonna get critique on it, and we got some sacraments to play though. We got MBK Richie's new music video, which I'm excited to share with everyone. Give me 1 second to get this set up. Have you guys seen this video yet? I have not. I've seen clips, but not the whole thing.
I have watched this video. I've watched this video about once a day since it dropped.
Oh shit! All right, let's get it then. Let's play it.
I'm seeing it.
Sticking with you. Picture Richie not getting with you. Not a chance, it's simple. Simple niggas just not advanced. Write your little singles and jingles, think you the man and shit. I guess the victory flawless, they never landed hit. Bitches too funny with words, Tiffany had a shit. Meanwhile, my verses and passages turn to sacraments. We way different than these studio rappers. Cause I'ma go see him first to hit the studio app. My book, a lot of pages, I done been through some chapters. 1 or 2 jerseys up in the Raptors. Me and Siege, Rich, you might have went too far. That's what they need. The longer they ignoring the cut, longer they bleed. What's it really take to succeed? A lot of confidence and motivation. Only kill yourself with degree. Ain't no other way to play it but ride. Fuck coronavirus. Richie pandemic got him staying inside. Too hostile. Only diamond at the top like Movado. They saying that I'm God, but I'm the perfect apostle. Let them tell it, Rich too cocky, arrogant probably. They don't mention all the hate and sneak disses that doubt me. Even family talk down and act iffy about me. This much envy usually ends in a bounty. They can't do it without me. So I'm feeling like the devil on the road to get me. Even though the Lord knows he too slow to get me. Divine work, they gon' have to find a cross and pin me. The aura blue like bad winds, like rolling 60s. My whole crew is kamikaze, they rolling with me. A cop shoot me in the burning, they gon' burn the city. Many men wanna see me dead, I'm thinking 50. Never mattered, all they clips and they threats is empty. Wanna know a secret, I ain't stopping soon. My stay gon' be a couple days, somebody cop a room. They gon' feel some type of way, and I'm like, fuck it, cool. But waiting on my downfall, something you shouldn't do. They gon' be waiting a long time. The ETA, DMV, wait, I got long lines. This energy I'm manifesting here is a hard find. Like hope in a dark time. Probably safe to say that this all mine. I'm watching the money stack, they watching the throne. The virus got them inside, I know them niggas home. The vaccine that I'm taking, we didn't Patron. That boy rich, like your uncle, that's crazy, leave him alone. I grew up on the locks, cuz taught me how to box. So there never was a need to talk crazy on the phone. Hip-hop connoisseur, learned this on my own. If I was watching CNN, it was Nori and Capone. Ask around, niggas familiar with my vernacular. The punches be insane, verbiage spectacular. The overheads be missing you, flaws there minuscule. Content so real, it be sounding like I'm dissing you. Guess I'm in a different mood, better say your shots, I ain't fit to lose. Run up in your session, make an interlude. Rapping sounding stupid like Trump doing the interviews. Your bitch had me over, I wrote the shit in your living room.
So that was the Sacraments video from MBK Richie. The visuals on that are amazing. I'm not exactly sure who he shot that with. Give me a second, maybe I could find out.
Yeah, bro, he shot that himself on some like Corey shit.
Really?
And yeah, he had somebody else edit it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's dope.
Yeah, I believe he bought a camera and is about to start shooting his own videos type shit. And this is one of the first ones.
Sick.
Yeah.
It'll save him a lot of money.
Hell yeah.
Especially if they're that quality. Like if you can produce visuals of that nature on your own, like that high quality video, shit, dude.
And I guess there's a chance that I'm wrong about this one, but I'm pretty sure this is the first one that he wanted to drop with that. We talked about it when I was over there with Blicker, and that shit intrigued me because it was right after we had Corey Alexander on the show, and he spoke about that, and I'm like, damn, maybe this is just the wave.
Yeah.
It might be, honestly, getting your own camera.
And if like you do it like Corey does, it's a good side hustle too, to be able to like
shoot videos,
shoot other people's music videos, and that's how you can make more money for your own stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point.
That's a fact. Yeah, because there's a lot you could do with that. Even if you don't want to edit it yourself, like there are people and ways to get that shit done too. Where if you just shoot it, you're saving yourself a lot of money. So there are tons of good videographers in the area, but it's something that you could look into investing in yourself and doing. Because Richie, that video was dope. I'm excited that Richie seems to be really working to get some buzz going, and he's had some buzz going since last year, dropping those 2 EPs. We got to chat with him a couple different times on the podcast. Always good to talk with Richie. Always good music. So to see the visuals now up to the same par, like, it's not surprising from someone like Richie. Like seeing this video from Richie, I'm not surprised at all, but I am impressed. Like it's very
No,
good.
absolutely. I mean, like I said, I've watched this and listened to this at least once a day since it's dropped. This is a very, very dope track. I'm absolutely in love with the beat. The visuals match the dope lyrics, you feel me? And a lot of times when you only have a couple different shots, it can get stale. They did a really good job of capturing a couple great shots. The couple edits that they made were really dope. The winter vibes made sense, you feel me? And
He looked cold as hell standing outside. He must have been freezing his ass off.
There were so many quotables in this song that it's almost like insane. Like it's just like he had one-liners,
It's
he had
just a
setups,
great,
he had stories.
it's just a great song.
Yeah, and no
It's
hook,
just
just straight bars. That's what I like. You feel me? There's not too many rappers out here that get on a track, especially on a beat like this, and can hold your attention from start to finish. Bars, stories, the way he articulates it, wordplay that you haven't really heard, but it wasn't even based off punchlines. It was content, and your bitch had me over. I wrote this shit in your living room. That's how you gonna end it? Why you do that? That's how you gonna end it?
You good over there, Sheridan? All right, there we go. His AirPods must have died or some shit, but no, that was a great video from Richie. I think that Richie, like I said, it's very exciting to see what Richie's got going on. He's been teasing some stuff on social media as well. That's very interesting nonetheless. He has been working very hard, so it's good to see when an artist like him works very hard, what can come of it, you know what I mean? And it kind of goes akin to everything we talk about on here, marketing yourself, working with other artists, everything else, what can be done if you do that. So if you want to keep following what Richie's got going on. It's going to be a busy 2021 for him, I'm sure. That was a great video from him, so a good way to kick it off.
Nah, man, what Richie's got in store is going to be insane. I got full faith in the project he's about to put out. What'd you say, Sheridan?
I'm just mad excited. Like, I'm a big fan of Richie's, and like I've been waiting for this project to come out for a while. This is like just like this video is like a teaser, and I'm just like, I'm ready, bro. Like, I'm ready.
I'm not even sure if this video is off of this song is off of the project. It might be.
And to the point that we talked about, in probably September at this point, Richie made the perfect choice in delaying the project and dropping it as two separate, not the project, but dropping two separate EPs leading up to it, because he was going to drop Divine, I want to say, back in September, right? That's when
6 months ago now.
Yeah, him and Slick were supposed to both drop on the same week as Don, and it kind of worked out good for everybody that it didn't play out that way, because Richie's just built on that and been able to promote it even more. We had kind of questioned it at first because we were... I was being a little bit of a bitter fan. I was like, man, I've been waiting this whole time. It's not coming now, but it paid off for him. It was a smart decision to delay it and put a little bit more into what he's doing with the rollout. So, great move there.
Right.
It was a good decision. It probably wasn't super easy to be like, all right, I'm gonna delay this, because it's always difficult. I feel like for an artist, you put a date out there, you want to do what you got to do. But if you make the executive decision to delay it, it can be beneficial for you. So.
You're absolutely right about that.
That covers everything we had to play this week, all the tracks, all the news, everything we had to talk about. I'm glad to be back for the Cypher. We'll be back next Wednesday with all the same shenanigans. Sheridan, you want to know where? Let them know where they can find you. Let them know about your new track you dropped.
Yeah, I dropped well, actually, so I'm a featured artist on the track. It's a track, technically, my producer Cosmo and Corey released it. It's featuring me and some other girl, and we have a video for it, and it's dope. Corey did a really good job on the video. I think in general it was a solid Valentine's Day drop, so y'all can go get that on Apple Music to see the video. It's on Spotify for the song and everything. It's not on YouTube right now. I don't really know what the plan is with that.
Is the video on Spotify or is it just on Apple Music?
I think it's just on Apple Music.
Okay.
It's not on Spotify.
That's what I know. But he said it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and other than that, I got some crazy shit I'm working on. I can't wait to like just announce stuff. I've been like kind of just holding it back because I don't want to say anything when I don't know for sure about certain things. But just know I got something coming, guys, and there's gonna be some big announcements soon. For now though, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. That's what's up.
That's what's up. You want to let them know where to find you on Instagram and Snapchat?
No, maybe Andrew will put it under my fucking thing for once.
Not this week, bro. No, not this week. It don't say shit but Sheridan this week. Sorry.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's comedy, son. The track was dope. I didn't get a chance to peep the music video because I don't have Apple Music.
Yeah, it's some bullshit.
It is some bullshit. Dope.
Hiding your videos behind paywalls and shit.
Get Apple Music. Get Apple Music.
Get Apple Music. Saint Cannon, bitch. You know what's popping out on all streaming services right now. If you haven't heard it yet, you're probably a herb, and you should go to Spotify right now and download it before your phone gets a virus. All right, that's what I'm gonna say about that. Right now, I'm currently thinking about when I'm about to drop this next John on your head. I just definitely switched up the release schedule, which I think will end up for the better. I got 2 videos that I'm sitting on right now, and I'm about to shoot another one next week. So it's about to be visuals on projects. The hardest thing is about to be figuring out what singles I want to drop in between and getting all these cover arts in line. So if you make cover art and you've tuned in all 2 hours of this for some reason, hit me up and let's make some magic.
For some reason, bro, this is quality fucking content, man. That's why they've sat here for 2 hours, bro. Because we bring the content every fucking Wednesday, so.
Yo, you know what it is. We the best out there next to the JBP. You feel me?
Facts.
That's what it is out here. So make sure to go run up St. Cannon. I'd love to hear what you guys' favorite tracks are. Follow me on all social medias at Anthony Cannon. And we're gonna have it was a nice podcast today.
Yeah,
some great discourse, gentlemen.
Facts. It was good talking to everybody. We'll be back, like I said, next Wednesday. Make sure you like, share anything from Upstate Aesthetic. We always got cool stuff going on. It's been a little busy around here, but we got some content coming your guys' way. Make sure you share the podcast. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to play about 30 seconds of this bad news track and get out of here. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Dreams, I had to lead the streets behind. Yeah. My visions wasn't equally aligned to chase my dreams. I had to. I've been chasing good vibes. All I really need is peace of mind. To get some peace, I had to keep this peace of mind. They only in it for a good time. Our visions wasn't equally aligned. To chase my dreams, I had to leave the streets behind. I've been trying to get you good vibes. To my oldest son, I wish I could be there more. My family and my money, all I care for. You told me I'm a nigga you would kill for. Now I'm second guessing what you here for. Yeah, let the beat build. I told him I'm popping without the E-pills. The streets real was running from